Good morning. I am 5 minutes early today. As always, if you're watching in replay, you're welcome to fast forward about 5 minutes. Please stay with us. Drive you safe. Always enjoy. Good morning, Zazu. Nice to see you live with us at the special treat. We always watch or often watch afterwards. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Judy. All right, it is time for us to start. By the way, is the sound okay? Because yesterday I had a little trouble with sound. I hope that you would tell me if it wasn't okay. Always tell me, please, because I always put the earphones on that were in, in and on, but then sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Alright, so the sound is good. Anyway, so let's start. So today we will review the three stages of progress in self-compassion. We've been already doing it for 2 weeks, so we'll see where we are. So it actually refers to any practice or any self-improvement. So usually our practice goes through three stages. The first stage is striving, the second is disillusionment, and the third is radical acceptance. I'm going to give you some detail on each stage. Paradoxically, if you doubt your ability to ever become more self-compassionate, that's actually progress. Because often it means giving up the whole idea of progress to actually come into radical acceptance. And when we do give up the idea of progress, in its place grows refinement of our intention to practice. Learning to practice self-compassion for its own sake, rather than as an effort to fix ourselves or manipulate how we feel moment to moment. Oh my goodness. So, is the sound bad again? I'm so sorry. Let me fix it. I I want to finish this and I will come in right away. Okay, I will just stop this and then start another one, and then I will wait for a couple of moments for you to join. I'm not sure what's going on, Sandra. Thank you for the. I fixed it. How did I fix it? I didn't do anything. Oh well. So is it good now? I don't know how I fixed it. All right. So let's begin again, just in case. So today we will review the three stages of progress in self-compassion practice, or any practice, meditation practice, or any self-improvement effort for that matter. So typically, we all go through three stages: striving, disillusionment, and radical acceptance. Paradoxically, if you doubt your ability to ever become more self-compassionate, that is actually progress. Because often progress means giving up the whole idea of progress so that we can grow refinement of our intention to practice in its place, learning to practice self-compassion for its own sake rather than as an effort to fix ourselves or to manipulate how we feel in any given moment. And we all start to practice self-compassion, or again, any improvement effort, with the intention to feel better, right? This intention is full of hope. And sometimes our practice bears fruit right away. For example, it feels great when we first discover that, wow, I can love myself. I can actually be compassionate to myself. That feels like progress. And this realization is very uplifting. It's kind of like the infatuation phase of a romantic relationship. And of course, as in any romantic relationship, infatuation is usually followed by disillusionment. We realize that our beloved is no longer the answer to all our problems. And in the same way, in self-compassion practice, disillusionment corresponds to the discovery that, I'm still the same person as before.
with the same uncomfortable feelings, with the same personal flaws. And when this happens, we start inevitably blaming ourselves or blaming the practice itself for failing to live up to our expectations. But of course, the fault is usually not with the technique itself, but rather in our intention behind our practice. If we do what's called spiritual bypassing, and what it means is practicing to fix things, to feel better. So if we do that, that means we are trying to control life, to manipulate the moment, and it will never ever work long term. So instead, we need to learn to practice for its own sake. Practice as an act of love. After all, the point of spiritual practice is not to perfect ourselves, but to embrace our imperfections. So once we settle into this intention to practice for the sake of practice, to practice as an act of love, we discover the last stage of progress, which is radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is like a parent comforting a child with a flu. The parent is not trying to drive out the flu with kindness. It's impossible. Instead, the parent gives care and comfort as a spontaneous response to the child's suffering until the illness passes on its own. All human beings suffer in life. Can we offer ourselves the same kindness and affection we might extend to a child with a flu? That's the question. And when we can, that is radical acceptance. And I forget who said that, but I love the quote. The curious paradox of life is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. And in the self-compassion practice, the goal is really not to fix yourself, not to fix life around you, because again, it's impossible, but to be fully human with compassion, to be a compassionate mess, struggling, uncertain, confused, but always extending compassion to yourself. And of course, the stages of progress don't always proceed in a linear, sequential manner. When we inevitably return to striving and disillusionment, when we meet big challenges in life. But the moment we realize that we are striving or disillusioned with loving, spacious awareness, then in that moment we return to radical acceptance. So, as I often say it's impossible to stop the mind from thinking, from criticizing, and it's okay. The idea of the meditation practice is not to empty our mind. It's to notice what happens in the moment. And in the self-compassion practice, when we add this component, it's noticing what's happening with compassion. So every moment you have a choice to exercise radical acceptance whenever you notice that you are striving, you're struggling, whenever you notice that you are disappointed, It's all okay. We are all human. So now let's do a short mindfulness practice to ground us into the present moment, to kind of remind ourselves that this moment can be the moment of awareness. It can be the moment when we choose to practice compassion. For the purposes of this practice, and we did it once, and I know many of you liked it, the ideal position is to stand up. We will do a standing meditation. We'll explore a little bit of walking to better connect with the soles of the feet, which helps us to connect with this moment. But of course, if you don't want to stand up, you can sit with your feet on the ground, touching the floor. So take this comfortable position, whichever you choose, standing or sitting, making sure that your feet are grounded into the earth. Let your breath be easy, natural. No need to struggle. No need to make your breath something it's not. Simply observing. And now begin to notice the sensations in the soles of your feet. And to better feel these sensations, you can gently rock forward and backward, from side to side. And if you're standing, maybe make little circles with your knees, feeling the changing sensations in the soles of your feet. Feel how the ground supports you. Even when you sometimes forget about it, it supports your whole body. There is no need to strive. There is no need to hold yourself up. You always have the support. And if you're standing now, you can begin to walk slowly, noticing the changing sensations in the soles of your feet. Notice the sensations of lifting a foot, stepping forward, and then placing the foot on the floor. Doing the same with the other foot. And if you're sitting and not standing, you can simply lift one foot and then bring it down to the floor mindfully, slowly, and repeat the same thing with the other foot. Do that a few times, a few steps if you're walking, or a few times lifting the foot and bringing it down to the floor. And all the while, feeling the sensations in the sole of your feet as much as you can. Notice how your feet support your entire body. Maybe even take a moment of gratitude for the hard work that your feet are doing, something that we usually take for granted. If you want to, you can experiment bringing kindness and peace to each step you make, kind of leaving an imprint of kindness and peace behind you as you walk forward. Or maybe it's an imprint of bravery, resolution, decisiveness. whatever you wish your life to stand for right now. You can also imagine the ground rising up to support you with each step. How does that feel? To know the support, to feel it. Now stop the movement and return to stillness again, expanding your awareness from just the soles of your feet to your entire body, and letting yourself feel whatever you're feeling. Letting yourself be just as you are, right here, right now. Take a few nice breaths and check in with yourself. What did you notice when you anchored your attention on your feet? Did your mind calm down or rev up when you focused on your feet? Whatever it is, it's okay. You're just noticing what is, accepting what is. Bringing your attention into your feet is a great grounding exercise, especially when you feel lost, anxious, undecided, because it helps you bring awareness as far away from your head as you possibly can within your body. So the focus immediately shifts from thinking into feeling. So as you go through your day today, I invite you to reflect on the stages of practice for on the stages of progress for this practice or for any self-improvement effort that you are now undertaking. Remember that progress is not linear. You can circle back to struggling and disillusionment and then over to to radical acceptance time and time again, and it's all okay. As long as you intend to accept things as they are, you are making progress. And to help yourself ground into this moment, to feel whatever is happening here, instead of trying to fix things, instead of exercising this spiritual bypassing, do this simple practice, bringing your awareness into the soles of your feet, maybe taking a few steps, reminding yourself to be in the here and now, where life actually happens. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a gorgeous day, and I will see you tomorrow.